Worst Mad Max remake yet.
We're about to marvel at modern art, and there's nothing beautiful or profound about any of this. What did you like most? I think my favourite was that woman beating what looked like a massive slab of butter with an electric cord, though the buckets thing was also very good. But this next example of modern art is really going to get you thinking. Wow, that's powerful stuff. Perhaps a comment on global warming, melting ice caps. I'm not sure. This next one looks like a tribute to restless leg syndrome.
What I want to say is that this is simply a result of everybody gets a trophy culture. However, then you get these old people doing the exact same thing who I know did not grow up in that everybody gets a trophy culture. So how do you explain them?
Sent a story today that a fresh yellow banana taped to a wall with duct tape. This one has been sold at a Sotheby's auction house in New York for, get this, $6.2 million US. Some Chinese crypto dude bought it. No big surprise there right now. It's pretty clear that the artist Maurizio Catalan is taking the piss here. After all, you know, he calls this artwork comedian. And it's not the first taped up Nana that he's done. The first was 5 years ago. But this certainly is the most expensive Nana yet. Catalan is also behind the golden toilet called America, and of artworks of stuffed animals that have been pinned up. Anyway, we did the maths, and a single Cavendish banana at Woolies today was 72 cents. A roll of Bunnings duct tape, around $5.20, so that's $5.92. Call it $4 US. So the markup, around 155 million %. So I ask you, what do you pay for this? Something we just knocked up? Look, I promise you, it's art, right? Bids are now open, unless I get hungry.
I tried to sell a banana duct tape to a wall for the low price of only $5 million, but I was told that my artwork wasn't appealing. Sorry. No. No way, girl. No. No, it looks like 2 dead rats on the back of her head. Oh, gross.
Please engage in your personality trick. Play dead. Play dead. Dead. Come on. Dead. What? Back up. Now, at this point, we would invite the judges to inspect.
What the fuck?
I think this face says it all. And here is a very inspired art performance. Where the stage performer throws tampon.
With a tampon. This all started because I wanted to do something cool in my bathroom, but I didn't want to pay for it. So in the spirit of being scrappy and creative, I just found a tampon, dipped it in paint, and pressed it up against the wall. I've honestly never done anything like this before, but if you know me, this is exactly the kind of thing I do. I often will start a craft project not knowing what it's going to look like, and then I just kind of figure it out. And I got excited when it started to look cool. So here I am kind of going to town until I suddenly remembered that tampons expand as they get wet. Oops. But at this point, the whole design was abstract anyway, so I just kind of went with it. The power of one tampon. It's like the Hanukkah tampon. I guess if an art historian asked me why I only used one tampon, I'd be like, it represents the resilience of women, but honestly, it was just because I was lazy. I didn't really have a method. Here I am kind of like going back and fixing one. I don't know. I'm painting with a tampon. What do you want from me? It's just, there's really not a lot to it. It's just a tampon covered in paint on a wall. It's art. It was fun. I had a great time. Then I had to do the other wall because, you can't just do one wall. And here it is. I love it so much, like more than I ever thought possible. Don't buy wallpaper. Use a tampon.
The men that just watched this are never going to forgive me.
A teacher's art display causing quite a stir with one artist's commentary on the election of November. The piece at the University of Alaska Anchorage depicting Captain America holding the president's head. The full painting also shows Hillary Clinton sitting at the actor's feet. Katie Pavlich, news editor at townhall.com, and a Fox News contributor. Jessica Ehrlich, the Democratic strategist and former congressional candidate. Morning to both of you.
Morning.
I don't know where you're going to go, ladies. I don't know if this is a free speech debate. I guess you're entitled to your First Amendment right, but then you got to ask yourself whether or not this is appropriate free speech. I mean, the university is defending the artist, the teacher. Katie, can you live with this or not?
Well, look, I have all kinds of questions about this. Is this a microaggression? Is this a macroaggression? Because I certainly feel triggered about this. I mean, the professor who made this said that he cried for weeks and wept over the election. Can we get him a therapy dog as soon as possible so he stops making things like this that are violent?
His quote was, I spent
wept
days
for weeks.
just weeping.
Just weeping and crying. But look. Here's the thing. It is free speech. They can have it on campus if they want to, but here's the hypocritical side of this. We have heard for months on end, and actually for years from the left, that we need to be tolerant and loving and accepting of everybody, and yet here we are with this professor saying that this depiction of the President of the United States is an appropriate way to handle his grief after the election. And if the shoe was on the other foot, there would certainly be more outrage. And I think the Secret Service is probably pretty interested in what this professor had in mind as well.
Here is the statement from the school. No matter what their political or religious bent is, we would do our best to protect them and protect their rights to make that kind of work in the institution, whether it would be a student or faculty. Jessica, where are you on this? I mean, what about Katie's point? You turn it around, and if this were to happen during the Obama years, I mean, there'd be outrage.
Well, there's certainly, I think, definitely, this could be even his therapy art, which is a thing people, use all the time as opposed to a therapy dog.
Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are programs even for, many therapy art programs. But, I think it really, to Katie's point, this is a free speech issue, and having political satire, political art, and people being able to express themselves, or even in political comedy, is a history that goes back in our country to the very founding. And these are the very rights that we're protecting now.
Jessica?
We're fighting to protect.
Jessica, do you have a problem with this at all, or is it?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of things that are
distasteful. Is this something you draw for therapy? Or?
there are things I see in art or in various forms or even humor and comedy that I find distasteful. I mean, in the words of When Harry Met Sally, everyone thinks they have good taste and a sense of humor, but not everyone can have good taste and a sense of humor. But that's not the main issue here. The main issue is, do we have a nation that's free? These are the very things we're fighting for, is so people can express themselves in peaceful ways, whether it's through art, through comedy, and express their feelings.
You can always use my Buy Me a Coffee link to help support the channel by buying Leroy a dog treat. Clearly loves them. He's just crunching away back there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Red Dawn Daily with your host, me, Dawn Marie, and sometimes Leroy. Oh, Leroy, you did such a good job. I mean, you're not Leroy, you're the Easter Bunny.